Hello, my name is Deschain, and I wasn't planning on doing this video today, but in response to a few comments that happened last night, I thought it would be nice to kind of get this out in the open and talk about it. So this is in response to Tangerine Storm's comments to me about, sort of what I believe, what terminology I should use, and different things. I'd just like to start out saying I appreciate it. I do. Criticism is always great. I appreciate, the civility used in these comments and the genuine not saying, oh well, you don't agree with me, so therefore you must be wrong, but saying you should go out and maybe test out different opinions. So that's something I'd like to be very clear about, that I did appreciate the comments. So this leads me into my first point, that I realized that I need to keep my terms very clear and be very precise and know exactly what I'm going to say, because when I say things that maybe are not 100%, I wouldn't say true, but 100% applicable to a situation, it reflects poorly on myself and doesn't give as clear a picture to you. Okay, so that leads us into the main part of the video, what I believe. So for what I believe, I just like to start out by telling you what I am. I define myself as a constitutional conservative libertarian. Now, what this means, before you try to say, oh, that's not possible, what this means is that I believe in a very small federal government that was laid out in the foundation of the Constitution. But that also means that everything after what was laid out in the Constitution, if you are mentally fit, you should be able to do whatever you want as long as it's not harming someone else. So this is where I believe in the Constitution, I believe we should follow it, but after that I am not conservative, I am libertarian, and that I believe nothing else, if it's not hurting someone else very directly, you can do whatever you want. So this leads into, I just like to define some of my points and address some of the comments. So I believe in small government overall, but the Constitution very clearly lays out the use of a military and to defend the state. So on that front, I do believe that a larger military is very important, especially to the United States, when we are defending so many other countries around the world, like Canada, Europe, the Scandinavian countries. And yes, I do believe that is very important. We can disagree, and I will make videos about that in the future. I'm just telling you what I believe right now. Two, I believe in state governments. What this means is that I believe that state governments, and especially local communities, can govern themselves much more effectively than states. So if you want to try out an idea that maybe I think would be completely terrible at a local level, you can vote on it and do it. That's what I believe. If you want to have socialized healthcare, do it on a state level. Because if someone doesn't like it so much, they can just move out of the state. So it's not very, it's not as it's not forcing someone as much as a federal government would be. And that leads into sort of one of my big overarching ideas is I don't believe in force. This doesn't mean I don't believe in defense, or even in, this doesn't mean I don't believe in defense, because I just said I support a larger military. But what this does mean is that I don't believe in forcing someone to do what you want. And that's why I like to be called a libertarian first and foremost, is because I think at the root of libertarianism it is the elevation of free will and freedom and, liberty above all else. And I don't think that in the modern political climate, I especially don't think, of course, that the left has it, and honestly I don't think the right has it anymore either. So that is why I like to call myself libertarian, because conservative generally conjures up the idea of someone that's trying to force you to fit into their idea of how America should be, and I don't believe in that. So that's why I say libertarian first and foremost. And just to cap off this video, I believe in the unity of ideas. That is just one thing that I believe in first and foremost. I believe that before you have diversity of Before you have a diversity of race, of gender, of anything else, you need to have a diversity of ideas. Because if you don't, and you just live in an echo chamber, then you will never ever learn, what someone else thinks, and you'll never ever have to defend your point, and therefore you will get intellectually lazy, and you won't be able to function we won't be able to function as a society if we try to be super inclusive to everything but someone else's opinion. And so, that was actually one of my main points for making this channel, is that I would hope that someone that disagrees with me on all these points, may think I'm absolutely wrong, may think I'm an idiot, would subscribe and honestly comment below, because as you can see, I do respond to the comments, and I do appreciate if you are civil, if you think that I am wrong and you call me out on it civilly, I am super inclined to respond if I can. Okay, whether that's in a comment or in another video, I want to be very clear that I don't think that everyone here has to agree with me. I believe that my ideas are right, but I don't think you have to agree with me, and I would be remiss if I didn't say that someone who doesn't agree with me is welcome on this channel. I appreciate that, because that means that not only are you trying out new ideas that maybe you aren't as accustomed to, but it would mean that I would be seeing new ideas that maybe I'm not as accustomed to. Okay, and just, to kind of end this video, I want to stay very clear. I want to stay truthful. And what that means is that, for you, I want to define my terms. And that was what this video is about. I know it was shorter than my normal videos, but it was in response to a problem that I saw I didn't want to happen. So this is in response to something, the comments, of course, but in an overarching theme is that sometimes I don't think that people that talk to me, even, people that might not comment on the channel, that I know they're watching but they don't comment, don't exactly know where I fall. And so when I say, I'm a libertarian, I'm a constitutional conservative libertarian, this is what I mean. Thank you. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'd like to remind you to like and subscribe, even of course if you don't agree with me. And I'll see you again next week.